learners, kumusta? Sana ay tuloy pa rin kayo sa pag-aaral ng ating ALS modules. Wini-welcome ko kayo ngayon sa ating ALS video lesson. By the way, I'm Miss Evanessa Icaralde, or you can call me Mom Eva, and I'm your ALS teacher in Learning Stand 3 Mathematical and Problem-Solving Skills. Today's lesson is intended for elementary learners. Pero pwede rin itong mag-review sa ating junior high school ALS learners. Bago tayo magpatuloy, kinakailangan nyo maghanda sa lesson na ito ng papel at ballpen. So today's lesson is about the basics of fractions. Before starting with the lesson, please take first the speed test. All you have to do is to pause the video for 10 minutes. So you will write your answer in a one whole sheet of paper. Okay, learners, this is the direction. Express the following shaded parts in fractions, either in symbols or in words. Then, express your answer in lowest term. Again, you will write your answer in one whole sheet of paper, and you have to pause this video for 10 minutes. So your 10 minutes starts now. Kumusta? Tama kaya ang iyong mga sagot? This is the answer key. Maaari mo nang i-check ang iyong mga sagot. Now, if you got all the correct answers, then very good. It means marami ka nang nalalaman sa lesson na ito. Pero pwede mo pa rin panoorin dahil maaaring may matutunan ka pa. Now, if you get a low score, don't feel bad. It means that this lesson is for you. We have the saying, sharing is caring. Talaga namang likas sa ating mga Pinoy ang mapagbigay, at yan ay napatunayan especially ngayong panahon ng pandemya. But you know, learners, that when you share something or divide something, there is math behind it. What are fractions? Fractions are useful in our daily life. When you buy meat or other products from the market, the quantity o yung dami ng ating binibili is often expressed as fractions. Examples, 1/2 kilo of tilapia or 1/8 kilo of onions or sibuyas. Pwede rin namang 3 1/4 meters of cloth. Aside from that, whenever we divide something into parts, example, kapag may birthday, meron tayong cake and we divided into equal parts, fractions are involved. Okay, so learners, we have pizza here and it is divided into equal parts. So yung isang buong pizza na yan, that is what we call a whole. And one slice of pizza is what we call part. Therefore, fractions are used to express parts of a whole. Oh, it's the pizza again. And just like what I've said earlier, it is divided into 8 equal parts. For example, you share 2 slices of pizza with your housemates. Then the question is, how are you going to express that in fraction? So all you have to do is to identify how many parts were taken from the whole. In this case, we have 2. So we will write 2. And then we will put underline below the 2. Then sa baba, we will identify the total number of parts. In the whole, in the pizza, it is 8. Therefore, in fraction, it is 2/8. Sa madaling sabi, fractions are written using 2 whole numbers and a line. So we have here bread. For example, you got hungry and you ate 3 slices or 3 pieces of bread. So what fraction of the whole bread were eaten? So in fraction, it's 3 times. Okay, so the number of parts taken from a whole is the top number, and the bottom number is the total number of equal parts in a whole. So the top number is what we call in fraction as numerator, and the bottom number is what we call denominator. Again, numerator is the number of parts taken from the whole, and the denominator is the total number of equal parts of the whole. Let's have more examples to make the point clear. We have grapes, 2 grapes, 2 apples, and 3 bananas. The question is, what fraction of the whole are bananas? Here we have 3 bananas and the total number of fruits is 7, therefore it's 3/7. Another example is this delicious cake, and it is divided into 10 equal parts. The question is, what fraction of the cake is taken? So if your answer is 1/10, therefore you're correct. Let's think about these learners. If Aling Nelly bought 2/4 kilo of sugar, while Aling Winnie bought 1/2 kilo of sugar, who between the two bought more sugar? Now, to answer the given problem, we have to learn how to simplify a fraction. And in simplifying fraction, we just get the lowest equivalent fraction of a fraction. For example, 4/8 is equivalent to 1/2. So 1/2 is the lowest equivalent fraction of 4/8, or 1/2 is the lowest term of 4/8. Let's have another example. So we have here 2/6. 2/6 is equivalent to 1/3. So 1/3 is the lowest equivalent fraction of 2/6, or 1/3 is the lowest term of 2/6. Now, how are we going to reduce or simplify fractions to lowest terms? So we have here steps. Step 1 is to determine the greatest common factor, or the GCF, of both numerator and denominator. How? By listing the prime factors of the numerator and denominator and pair the common factors. For step 2, we have to divide the numerator and denominator by GCF, or the greatest common factor. And for the step 3, the numerator and denominator now form the fraction in the lowest terms. Let's have here example. So we have 2/4. What is the lowest term of 2/4? So first step is to list the prime factors of 2 and 4. So we have here for the 2, we have 1 and 2. Now, bakit naging 1 and 2 yung prime factors? Pag sinabi natin prime factors, these are the numbers na kapag minultiply mo, the answer is 2. In this case, we have 1 times 2 is 2. Kaya naging prime factors ng 2 is 1 and 2. Sa 4 naman, so iisip din tayo ng mga numbers na kapag minultiply natin 4 ang sagot. Ano yung mga number na yun? So we have 2, 1, and 4. Kasi 2 times 2 is 4, and 1 times 4 is 4. So meron pa bang ibang prime factors? Other than that? So wala na. Okay? After listing down the prime factors, we have to identify yung greatest common factor nila. So, sa mga prime factors nila, aling yung magkamukha? Okay? So, nakikita natin dyan yung magkamukha, or yung common factor nila is 2. Therefore, the GCF is 2, or the greatest common factor. Okay? So, we are done with the step 1. Step 2, we have to divide the numerator and denominator by the greatest common factor. Okay? So, we will divide the numerator by 2, and the denominator by 2. Okay? So 2 divide 2 is 1. And 4 divide 2 is 2. Therefore, the lowest term of 2/4 is 1/2. Okay, going back to let's think about this. If Aling Nelly bought 2/4 kilo of sugar, while Aling Winnie bought 1/2 kilo of sugar, who between the two bought more sugar? So the answer is both. Parehas si Aling Nelly and Aling Winnie ng dami ng biniling asukal because 2/4 is equivalent to 1/2, or 1/2 is the lowest term of 2/4. Let's have more example. Let's simplify 4/12 to lowest term. So the first step is to find the greatest common factor by listing the prime factors of 4 and 12. So the prime factors of 4 are 1, 2, and 4, while 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. Okay? As you can see, meron silang 3 common factors, 1, 2, and 4. But since ang hinahanap natin is the greatest common factor, it's the 4. Okay? Our GCF is 4. So we will divide 4 and 12 by 4. So 4 divided by 4 is 1. And 12 divided 4 is 3. Therefore, the lowest term of 412 is 1/3. Ito ang tips paano natin malalaman kung dapat ba nating i-simplify ang fraction sa lowest term. So tip number 1, we will simplify fraction when numerator and denominator are both even numbers. Ano ba yung mga even numbers natin? These are the numbers ending in 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8. Example, 2/10. 2 and 10 are even numbers. So therefore, kailangan nating i-simplify sa lowest term ang 2/10. Another example is 4/8. 4 and 8 are even numbers. Also in 8/14 and 6/12. So ito yung mga example ng fractions na ang numerator and denominator are even numbers. Therefore, kapag ganyan ang fraction, we have to simplify those in lowest terms. Tip number 2. We will simplify fraction if the numerator can be divided into denominator. Kapag dinivide natin sa denominator into numerator, whole number ang sagot. Example, 3/9. 9 divided 3 is 3. Okay? So, yung quotient nila is whole number. Kapag ganyan, dapat nating i-lowest term. Another example is 5/10. 10 divided by 5 is 2. 2 is a whole number. Therefore, 5/10 can be simplified. Also, in 12/36 or 12/36, 36 divided 12 is 3. Okay, so pag ganyan, dapat nating i-simplify into fraction. Also in 7/21. So 21 divided 7 is 3. Okay, again, we will simplify fraction if the numerator can be divided into denominator. Tip number 3. So we will simplify fraction if both numerator and denominator are composite numbers. What are composite numbers? So these are numbers which have more than 2 factors. Example, 9/15. Si 9 and 15 meron siyang more than 2 factors. Therefore, kapag ganyan, we have to simplify into lowest term. Ganon din si 15/25, 14/21, and 12/20, or 12/20. So these are examples of fractions that can be simplified into lowest terms. So tip number 4, we will simplify fraction when it is improper fraction. So ano ba kapag sinabi natin improper fraction? So these are fractions whereas the numerator is greater than the denominator. Example, 15/9. Our numerator is 15 and our denominator is 9. So yung top number natin, which is 15, is greater than 9. So this is an example of improper fraction na kung saan kailangan natin i-simplify into lowest term. Another example is 6/5. So mas mataas si 6 kaysa kay 5. And we have also 21/14 and 9/2. So these are examples of improper fractions. At kapag improper fractions, we have to simplify into lowest terms. So these are the tips kung paano malalaman or kung paano madaling malalaman kung ang fraction ay kailangan i-simplify into lowest terms. Learners, for today's lesson, you have learned how to write a fraction in symbols and in words, and how to simplify fraction into lowest term. So before ending with our lesson, please take first this post test. Katulad ng ating pre-test, you have to pause this video for 10 minutes. Okay? I will give you 10 minutes and you will write your answer in one full sheet of paper. Okay? Para malaman natin kung ano ba ang mga natutunan mo sa ating video lesson na ito. So let's see what you have learned. So the direction is answer the following questions in one whole sheet of paper. So learners, your 10 minutes starts now. If you are done with our post test, this is our answer key. You may now check your answers.